Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Echoes of Mana video, and today we're going to talk all about the Bravers Arise event that we just got today in the game. I'm going to show you my team comps, my runs, give you some tips about how to get a high score, but there's more to talk about in this event than just the event itself. We have our first taste of cheaters in the game, so we're going to address that, and the dev team has already made a statement about cheating that you could just about guarantee applies to these cheaters. We'll check that out. And I'm going to talk about the prizes and prize structure for this event. And in fact, let's start there. There is a score that I think every player playing this event should aim for. That score is 260,000, because at 260,000, you get your second batch of 25 Awakening Orbs. These are super rare. This, in my opinion, is the best prize from this event. You need these to get a character from level 99 to 100. There's no real other way to get them right now than getting them from events. This is the prize of the event, in my opinion, and at 260k is pretty obtainable. That's not an incredibly high score on this event. So if you can hit 260k, I think you've done your main job. Now, let's go into the event, because there are more prizes than that, including Spirit Crystals and the Spear that has stirred up some conversation. So let me weigh in on that. Now, right now I'm rank 1. I have a 378,000 score, 378k score. We'll get back to how I got there in a minute. Let's look at the rewards. So as it stands right now, rank 1 through 10 are going to get a Daedalus Spear, Daedalus Lance +3. It has a 5% strength buff. That is not insignificant, but it is also not overpowered. You would have to give you a taste, you would have to have 2,000 base strength for a 5% buff to even give you another 100 attack. So yes, it is nice at +3. It is far from game changing, and hold up. It's a PvE event. What MMO, what multiplayer game does not give better rewards to people who outperform other people in PvE? World of Warcraft does, any game with rating does. Most games that have a PvE event reward good finishers in the event. If you can climb the ladder, you get a nice reward. And I like how the +3 goes all the way to rank 10. So top 10, fairly achievable for a +3 if you've invested some time and a little bit of money. Hey, investing some money for dupes definitely helps, but it's doable. +10 is doable. Now, it's after the top 10. It's after the top 10 that I start taking a little bit of issue. The next 10, 11 through 20, get the +2 lance. Strength +3%. Again, you're almost down to half the buff from +5, so it's really not that huge. Still kind of nice. Personally, I would have liked to have seen the +2 lance be given out to maybe the top 50. Top 50, I think that's reasonable. That takes a little bit of effort. Give it to the top 50. Then take the +1, which is a strength +1%, and literally give it to everyone else. As it stands now, you only get the Daedalus Lance +0 for finishing 50 through 31st. If you finish lower than that, you will actually not get a spear at all. That spear is, although in my opinion not the most valuable prize from the event, it is the symbol of the event. It's the thing that says I participated in the first scoring event we ever had. Hook people up who participated with at least the +1 or +0. If the +1 honestly went to rank 100 and rank 101 through 150 got the +0, look, 1% strength is not a big deal. It's just not. 1% strength is barely noticeable. So I think it wouldn't be a bad deal to just spread that out. Otherwise, I don't really hate the structure here. I think giving the top 10 all the same lance, while then only differentiating it between crystals and trophies, that seems fine. That seems fine. So I like how they did the top end of this. It's the middle to the bottom that I would have done a little bit differently. So there we go. Now, I'm feeling pretty secure about getting myself the +3. I'm at rank 1. Let's check out the ranking details for my bracket right now. I have a little bit of a lead. I've got about a 6k lead on Serena here. And the reason I'm bringing this up, here's the point breakdown. You will score exactly 300,608 points for damage dealt to the boss. I tested trying to overkill the boss by last hitting him with my final attack to see if I could really boost those numbers. Nothing you can do there. It's taken times 1. That's it. You're going to get 300k 608. That's how you're going to get that. Now, damage taken. If you're going for a really high score, taking 0 damage is very, very nice. This is taken ×5 at a minus. It will detract from your score a lot. You'll then get 10k points for clearing it, and the time bonus. You want to clear this thing as fast as possible. At 28 seconds, you will get plus 68,148. So that's my best run so far, and I did it with this team. I did it with Reese, the main character of my account, and then, our free Randy from the last event and free Prim from logging in. So besides my Reese, it's a fairly free to play second and third slot. This is one of the comps I think you can use to beat this boss, and it has been my best comp. Reese goes in there and takes advantage of her mobility, of the fact that while she's dodging past the boss, she can tag him a little bit. She can spin her spear, which does damage to the boss while avoiding damage. Also, her special technique really displaces her. She dodges like across almost half of a screen worth of screen, and you can use that to dodge the boss's telegraphed moves. Obviously, you're going to need to learn the boss's rotation, right? This boss does the same things every single time. It's very easy to learn. So pay attention to that. Whichever character you are using, you need to figure out how many auto attacks you can get in before you need to dodge, how many of your regular techniques you can get in before you need to dodge, and if your special technique is something you can use to dodge the boss's damage. Taking 0 damage was a huge boost in my score. And after that, it was all about how efficient could I be with the actions that I got at killing the boss as fast as possible and praying for crits. So the solo Reese run really came down to that. Now, I did another run where I used Duran for armor breaking, Reese again as my damage dealer, and another 3-star strength buffing unit to buff Reese damage. In this run, what I did is I have Duran dodge the first attack from the boss and then break armor. The problem with this run, and why it was scoring less points for me than the solo run, is there's a swap you have to do. And when you're talking about the difference in score being, the difference between 33 seconds or 28 seconds or 30 seconds and 29 seconds, that time that you spend not doing damage to the boss while you're swapping units is a big deal. It can cost you a whole rotation of damage on the boss while she's facing away from you or after you've just dodged an attack. Instead of doing more damage, you are instead swapping in another unit. Now, I was able to get 373,000 with my best Duran Reese run. That's pretty good. That would also have been first place in this group, and the second place person in my group was clearly doing a very similar thing. They're running Duran Keldrick Prim, so a similar setup to mine. Duran's here to break the armor, Keldrick was there to, do the big chaining, the big chain damage, and Prim was there to buff Keldrick. Look, you also need to consider, don't ever break your chain. Don't let the chain break. It needs to be one continuous chain the whole time. This is another reason I really, really liked Reese for my runs, because as you're dodging around, she's spinning that spear, keeping the chain going. Reese feels like an easy S tier character for this fight. Now, I've also seen some people having some success with Angela, who's just staying away from the boss, dropping ice balls. That seems like a very, very easy way to get into like the 300,000 something score. If you have a decently built Angela with characters buffing them up, that seems good. Now, the last thing I want to mention for team building in this case, I'm going to go into my parties here. And I'm going to go into my actual parties for this, and I'll show you how I thought about setting them up. This will be the last tip of the video. It's already a little bit longer than I thought it would be. We haven't even talked about cheaters yet. So the reason I'm using these two, I don't have to level them up. At +6, I'm getting a wind attack buff from Randy here, and at +6, I'm getting a strength attack buff from Prim. This is perfect. This is perfect. This just increases my damage, and I never have to worry about swapping. For the other group, armor break, right? And he gives a damage bonus after using his skill to his paired ally. Strength buff, and then here's my damage dealer. I'm just using my best memory gem in terms of stats or whatever. For Reese, it's going to be the wind damage one, and that's what I was able to do. That's my team building. Now, there's one last thing to talk about here, and that's going to be the cheaters. I think I'm lucky, and I'm in a room that has no cheaters. In my group of 150, I have not seen any evidence of cheating yet. Here's how you can tell if somebody's cheating in your group, and then report them. You go into the high scores. They're going to probably be up here at number 1. Like, let's click on Serena's score here. Look at the time, 34 seconds. The cheaters are clearing this in like 1 second. Like, they're like clearing it in a time that is completely unreasonable to be clearing this in. I've done this fight a lot of times. A time in the 20s is doable. A 20-something time is doable. If you see something that's like 5 seconds, they're cheating. They're cheating. Report that player. That's not real. So there we go. I think we might see some higher scores in this. I think 380-something thousand is doable. Maybe somebody will have a really big brain strat and they can hit that like 400K. I've only been messing with this for 1 day. 378 is my current highest. It was a lot of fun. It felt like I got to cash in all that gear farming that I've done and go for a high score. That felt nice. More things like this, please. Something like this every week would be awesome, to be honest. So there you go, guys. That's my video. Good luck on your runs. I hope this was helpful, and have a great rest of your day. Peace.